Okay, so let's begin. Okay. So I should put this away. Okay, so let's do our usual warm up. So we're just going to march on the spot, get heart rate a little bit higher, get a body temperature higher. So let more people in as well. Okay, as usual, watch your posture. So good posture, just anytime you're a little taller and shoulders a little bit wider. Okay, and loosen up our spine a little bit as well. So we are just going to breathe out as we round our back slightly. Okay, and breathing in. Okay, and just doing the opposite. Okay, and only go as far as you feel comfortable. Do not move into pain. Okay, let's go side to side a little bit more. So open up the palm of the hand, press the hands out, looking side to side. Okay, let's do a little bit of side bending. So we're going to press, open up the palm, okay, fingers there, tilt your head out of the way. Okay, and just touch your elbows the opposite direction. Okay, if that makes you feel dizzy, you can just kind of tilt your head slightly and just move your arms. Okay, 3 to 5 times, and then just switch directions. And let more people in. Okay, so you're almost trying to create more space between your wrists and your ear. Okay, and relaxing the body, opening and closing. Okay, let's rotate side to side. Okay, let's swing arms front to back. Okay, let's try to reach up a little higher. Okay, and we're going to try to press a palm up on one side. Deep breath in as we do that. Okay, and we'll do the opposite direction. Hands behind the pelvis or the low back. Okay, breathing in. Okay, pulling the shoulders back slightly. Okay, I'm going to contract and relax. Okay, and we're just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls. Bring your spine along. Okay, and we're just going to rotate, move our arms different directions. Okay, in front of us. Okay, we 3 to 5 times each direction. Okay, reach into our body, compress one arm into our chest. Okay, so this is my right arm kind of reaching to my left shoulder. Okay, and then my left arm reaching into my right. Imagine there's a balloon between your chest and your arm or your elbow, and you're trying to squeeze that balloon a little bit. Okay, with your upper arm. Okay, and upwards. Okay, see if you can get your arm closer to your ear. Okay, go as slow as you need to. Okay, if it's painful, drop it back down. You just work with your pain through your range. And just the same thing on the other side. Okay, yeah, thumb pointing backwards is usually a little bit easier. Okay, and we are going to just rotate the arm. Okay, see if you make it okay sign. Okay, and you're just trying to kind of point the whole upwards, and then the fingers towards your neck or below. Okay, and you're just trying to reach back as well. Okay, and you're going to reach down and straighten out. So reverse, also rotating inwards. Okay, straightening out the arm. Okay, and a couple more wrist rotations. Okay, wiggle each finger a little bit. Okay, try to open up the palm a little bit more. So pull your fingers towards the back of your hand. Okay, bend just the tips of our fingers. Okay, reach side to side a few times. Shaking out. Okay, and just go into the hip circles. Okay, relaxing the upper body. A couple of times in each direction. Okay, exaggerating the backwards position. Okay, setting your hips back, chest kind of longer away from the hips. Okay, just feeling a stretch, mostly behind the thighs, maybe a little bit behind the knees. Okay, so think of a long spine. Okay, hands can be doing just whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, in this position, we're going to add a little bit of rotation. So we're just going to turn and look towards one of our ears. Okay, if you want, you can add the hands as well. You can just kind of rotate. Okay, coming back up. Okay, this time when you do almost the exact same thing, hips still set back, knees over the toes. Okay, and just bending the knees a little bit more. This time, go into a squatting position. Okay, so you're sitting on a tall stool, feet are flat on the ground, weight a little bit closer to your heels. Okay, 3 to 5 times, feeling a little bit of pressure on the front of your thighs. Okay, and we're going to add the hands again. So when you reach up, try to almost form a straight line from your hips to your fingertips. Okay, feeling a little bit of your mid-back muscles tightening or tensing up. Thighs probably a little high by now because we're sitting in this position. Okay, sorry, just 3 to 5 times, come back out. Okay, check it out a little bit. Okay, feet a little bit wider. Okay, we are just going to sit on a stool that is a little bit off to one side. Okay, and you're still setting your hips backwards. Okay, bending one knee. Okay, if you want, you can add a little bit of tilt that one side foot toes up a little bit as well. A little bit harder to manage. Okay, so you can skip this if it's uncomfortable. Okay, coming back out. Okay, let's just swing our legs side to side a little bit as I front to back. Okay, hold onto a wall or chair if you need to. Okay, and then side to side a few times. Okay, let's stretch the front a little bit more. So hips front to back. Okay, pull your belt buckle up. Drive your back heel towards the ground until you feel a stretch in the front of the hips. Okay, we're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, then we relax a little bit. We're just gonna do it one more time. Okay, so belt buckle up, heels into the ground behind you. Okay, until you feel a stretch in front of the hips. Make sure your hips are kind of squared to the front. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax. We'll do it one more time. Okay, so once again, when you're ready, belt buckle up, heels towards the ground. You can shift your hips a little more forward if you don't feel much. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake it off. Okay, and when you're ready, you can switch over to the other side. Okay, so count of 15 seconds in total. Okay, just whenever you're ready. Okay, but do try to tilt the front of your pelvis up. Drive the heel into the ground until you should feel almost a little bit of squeeze in your butt muscles. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and second time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. May feel a little bit of stretch in the calves as well. Okay, last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back out. Okay, loosen back up. Okay, and just bend the knees. Okay, and moving the ankles. Okay, shifting your weight just front to back. Okay, counterbalance with your upper body. Okay, so probably lean forward a little bit as you lift your toes up. Okay, see if you can press through the different toes. Okay, so as you stand on your toes, okay, see if you can push through your big toe a little bit more. Maybe towards the middle. Okay, towards the outside a little bit more. Okay, just moving your ankles in slightly different ways. Okay, and then the opposite side, this one you probably want to hold on to something. Okay, we're going to put a kind of a foot side behind us. Okay, and you can almost slightly drag the foot forward until you feel a stretch kind of in the top of the foot. Okay, you can kind of just contract and relax. Okay, so you're kind of driving the front of your ankles kind of towards the ground. Okay, 3 to 5 times, and then you can switch over to the other foot. Okay, you can kind of soften the other knee a little bit, if that helps to get into a better angle. Okay, and just go into a circle at the end. Okay, both feet. Okay, and lastly, just move your toes in some ways. Spread them apart, scratch the floor, pull it off the floor. Okay, and just shake everything out. Okay, so let's grab our band. Okay, so we are going to repeat kind of a few basic exercises kind of each time. Okay, and in the second half, we're going to move on to maybe something more specific to our muscle. Okay, but the first few ones we're going to probably repeat because these are kind of pretty basic, pretty fundamental things that we should kind of practice more often. Okay, so we're going to work on just the pull first. Okay, so basic movement is push, pull. Pushing and pulling can be in different directions, of course. Okay, but pushing and pulling the upper body. It's kind of same thing with the lower body. You can kind of push up. Okay, you can also kind of pull up as well. Okay, so pushing just involves front of the body, pulling more the back of the body. Okay, so we're gonna do a basic pull first. Okay, so when you just hook the band, kind of step on it with both feet. Okay, we're gonna get into the hinge position, so that's setting the hips back. Okay, knees maybe slightly bent. Okay, could be all the way straight if you want to, or just slightly bent. Okay, top half of the body more horizontal. Okay, so kind of flat to the ground. Okay, and you're just going to make your spine longer. So this is shorter, this is longer. Okay, make your spine longer, and you're gonna hold this position. Okay, you can tighten up the band to make it a little shorter, a little harder. Okay, and we are just going to do a basic pull. So we're squeezing our shoulders back, squeezing our elbows back. Okay, and we'll do it at a 4 count. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. You can of course adjust tension. 6, 2, 3, 4. 7, 2, 3, 4. So back is probably getting a little tight, a little sore. Still try to maintain a long spine. Okay, if you feel that you cannot maintain a good position, then definitely stop. Okay, but aim for about maybe 10 times. Okay, you can of course do more or less. Completely up to you. Okay, so that's a basic pull. So it works on the kind of mostly muscles in the back, including the low back. So you probably felt like the muscles here are a little tight because it's holding up the top of our body. Okay, so that's a basic kind of pull. Okay, so give it a second. Okay, so next one, very similar. Okay, we're going to do a pull with the kind of the lower body. Okay, so very similar setup. Okay, but this time maybe feet can be could be a little bit more narrow. It doesn't have to be all the way close. Okay, but it doesn't have to, probably don't have to be this wide. Okay, so maybe hip width apart is good. Okay, it's kind of similar style positions. We're still going to hinge the hips back, set the hips back. Okay, and instead of kind of wrapping the band tighter, make it shorter, we are going to make it tighter by crossing our arms in front. So it looks kind of like this. Okay, so we're going to bring the band closer to the shoulders. Okay, but in this position. Okay, so we're going to just make it look tight by crossing the arms in front. Okay, and you're just going to stand up tall, kind of squeeze the hips forward. Okay, so almost try to drive your hips forward. Okay, and you're going to slow your lower back down, pushing the hips back. Okay, so this time try to make your knees a little bit straighter than before. Okay, so also a 4 count, so 2, so it'll be, let's call this the first time. So 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. So probably back also a little tight. Back of the hips, back of the thighs, maybe a little bit tight. 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so shoulders probably a little bit tight as well. Okay, but that's a basic kind of lifting something from the floor. So if you drop something, you don't always squat down to pick things up. You have to bend down over to pick something up. Okay, so that's also using the hips, the back. Okay, so muscles in the back. Okay, shaking things off a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to go on to more the lower body. Okay, we're going to do, you can think of that as a push of the lower body and push of the upper body. Okay, we're going to start off with the squat, okay, just to contrast that what we call the hinge. Okay, so the hinge is when you mostly bend from the hips, okay, not much with the knees. We call this a hinging position. You can use this to pick up a pencil or your glasses, okay, or just 2 bags of groceries. Okay, the squatting, very similar, okay, but this time we're going to bend the knees a little bit more. Your upper body is going to be more upright. Okay, so this time, feet maybe a little bit wider than your hips. Some people can do it very narrow. Most people with kind of a hip or kind of armpit width apart would be good. Okay, toes doesn't have to be pointing straight forward. Slightly maybe 30 degrees out is probably good for most people. Okay, so we're going to push the hips back, okay, but this time bend the knees a little bit more. Okay, so you maybe instead of looking straight down, you're looking maybe a couple of feet in front of you. Okay, and we're going to, this time, we're going to add a little bit of tension by kind of tightening the band by either wrapping the band a couple of times or grabbing it a little bit lower. Okay, still think of long spine, because it's try to separate your tailbone from the top of your head. Okay, and this time we're just going to stand up. Okay, and let's go back down. Okay, just to keep it simple, we're going to do a 4 counts as well. So it'll be 2, 2, and then 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. So your goal is just to get to kind of a common chair height. Okay, so your hips may be a little bit higher than your knees. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. You probably notice that the front of your thighs has to work a lot harder now. Okay, your knees should be kind of close to your hands or kind of over the feet. Okay, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again about 10 times. Okay, so kind of looks a little similar, okay, between a hinge. Okay, this is a hinge, this is a squat, okay, but the muscles you feel probably feels a lot different. When you're squatting, a lot harder on the thighs. When you're hinging, thigh doesn't do much, mostly the hips, okay, and the back muscles. So you can think of this as pulling you up. Okay, this is pushing you upwards. Okay, so similar looking movement, different kind of muscle groups. I think probably makes you a little more out of breath, okay, because you're using a pretty big muscle. Your arms and your back is stabilizing as well. Okay, so and then for the upper body push, okay, we're going to be pushing outwards. Generally speaking, we're pretty good at pushing forward already. Okay, we want to practice pushing up a little bit more. Okay, so this one, if you have 2 bands, you can do both arms at the same time, but if you only have one, then just do it one side at a time. Okay, so just make the band a little bit longer so you have more room to work with. Okay, only go as far as the shoulder allows. So if it's painful, if it's, let's say it's painful all the way up here, even going up all the way just to elbow to shoulder height is good. Okay, but watch your position. So always think of standing taller, shoulders a little wider. Okay, stabilize the rest of your body. So even though we're lifting only about 5 pounds or so, okay, with the band is usually about 5 to 10 pounds, depending on how kind of long you make it or how much stretched out it is. Okay, but imagine you're lifting 50 pounds. Okay, so you want to stabilize your body by lightly driving the floor apart. So imagine you're trying to rip the floor apart with your feet by driving it out. Okay, not too hard, just a little bit. You should feel your hips tightening a little bit. Squeeze your knees back slightly. Okay, so muscles tense a little here. Okay, lightly squeeze out of hand. Okay, stabilize the rest of the body. Okay, and then you're going to move the arm that we're trying to move. Okay, so also just a basic 4 count. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're still breathing in and out. 3, 4, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just at your own count. If you're going, of course, high up, your count will be slower. Okay, if you're not going as high, it might not be as fast as I can. Okay, so it's just about 10 times. Okay, so just about 10 times. Okay, stop all anytime you want. Okay, make sure you breathe in between. Make sure you relax the body in between. Okay, so even just shake it out, do a weird dance. Okay, when you're ready, we can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so stabilize the rest of your body and then push up. Okay, so once again, lift the floor apart, knees slightly back, slightly squeeze out the hand. Okay, chest tall, shoulders a little wide, and then push up. Okay, and how far you go, completely up to you. Okay, just a 4 count, about 10 times at your own pace. Okay, make sure you're breathing in and out. Okay, either breathing in as you go up or the opposite, both works. Okay, so kind of 4 basic movements. Okay, push, pull, top and bottom of the body. So you can kind of practice these multiple times in a week. Okay, so now let's move on to more specific muscles. Okay, so let's work on kind of maybe let's do the shoulders today. So we're just going to do a shoulder raise. Okay, so depending on how long your band is, you might have to do this sitting down, or you might have to do it kind of one side at a time. Okay, but we are going to just stand kind of hip width apart again. Your thumb either pointed kind of upwards, okay, or pointed forward, okay, up to you. Okay, but posture is always the same, which is a little bit taller, slightly wider for the shoulders. Okay, so wide doesn't mean squeeze back, it just means wider apart. Okay, so we are just going to be lifting it slightly off to the side, okay, and then back down. Okay, at most, lift the shoulder height. Okay, but we're going to do a basic 4 counts again. Okay, so 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if your back starts to be tight, still try to maintain a tall posture. Okay, so 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again, kind of monitor how heavy it feels for you. If you can do 10 and it's very easy, if you can do like 15 times, no problem. Maybe tighten the band up a little bit. Okay, find a heavier band. Okay, so this is a basic shoulder raise. You can do it in different kind of directions. Okay, sometimes we call this just a lateral, which means to the side shoulder raise. Okay, so we're gonna do pretty much the same idea with the hips. Okay, so we're just gonna do a hip raise. Okay, so probably anytime we're standing on one foot, having something to hold on to would be kind of helpful. Actually, let's do a different one. Okay, so we'll do some. Okay, so this one, if you are if you have fell before, if your balance is not that good, kind of maybe skip this one. I'll show you a different one afterwards. Okay, but if your balance is good, okay, you're gonna try to step on the band, maybe hip width apart again. Okay, and then afterwards you're gonna cross the band over. Okay, so you are just going to be, once again, the band is pulling you forward and down. Don't let it. Okay, so stand taller, shoulders a little bit wider apart. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a step out, okay, and then come back in. Okay, take a step out to the side, come back in. Okay, so just think of doing a wide squat. Okay, and we're going to go side to side. Okay, so this time let's do it for, we're going to do it instead of repetitions, we're going to do it for time. Okay, so do it as slowly as you need to, as safely as you need to. Okay, if you feel comfortable, you can do almost like a side walk. Okay, if you do enough times, side of the hips starts to feel a little bit tight. Thighs probably feel a little tight because we are slightly squatting here. Okay, let's aim for about 30 seconds. So I think we've done probably at least 20 now. So let's do another 10 seconds. Now, oops, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so give me a second to replace my band and just snap. Okay, so give me 1 second. So I've been using that band for a little while. So kind of about time to switch. Okay, so let's repeat these two exercises. Okay, so both are kind of a side raise. Okay, just as one of the shoulders, other one with the hips. So let's do the shoulder one again first. Okay, usually rest as long as you need to in between. Okay, but always good posture. Okay, if you find that you cannot maintain a good posture, then just stop. Okay, so this band is a little bit heavier for me. Okay, so I'm not going to move it as high up. Okay, kind of adjust to your own level. I'm actually going to try with my thumbs up and see how that feels. Okay, a little bit better for me, so I'm going to choose to do it that way. Okay, so I think we're at 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again, aim for 10. Okay, if you cannot do 10, or if you have trouble even doing 5, it's very difficult. Use a lighter band, make the band a little longer. So either step on with just one side, so the band can be a little longer, a little bit lighter. Okay, just shoulders, always be a little bit careful. Okay, if you're gonna go heavy, kind of progress it through the set. So the first set, just think of that as a warm up. So the first round or first set, do it a little bit lighter. If you feel like it, second round, do it a little heavier. Third round, similar idea. Okay, so let's go to the hip kind of walk against, as you call it. Okay, very similar idea. We're still bringing our kind of our limbs away from the body. Okay, and the band just adds a little bit of resistance. So before we do, so if you have, if your balance is not that good, if you don't feel comfortable kind of tying up both your legs, you can do the one we did before, where you just kind of stand on the band, holding onto a chair with the opposite arm. Okay, and you're still trying to lifting the foot away from the body. So this is a little bit easier to manage just because your legs are not kind of tied together. You have something to hold on to. If you want, you can also try the other version where you're just stepping on with both feet, okay, crisscrossing the band. The closer you start off with, the kind of the harder it becomes. Okay, hands can be just to the side of the hips. Okay, and you're just going to do a side, almost a side walk. Okay, another version is that you can keep the feet apart. Okay, and you're just, this is much harder. You're walking forward, okay, while keeping the feet apart. Okay, so this one you probably feel a lot more in the hips, okay, because we're not letting the hips kind of rest. Okay, you need to be squatting down slightly, so bend your knees a little bit. Imagine you're sitting on a very tall bar stool. Okay, let's do another 10 seconds or so. Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, safely disengage. Okay, so once again, probably a little bit side of the hips. Okay, so we keep it a little simple. So when you just learn the kind of format nowadays might be just do the what we call compound movements, which is just the push-pull of the upper and lower body. Okay, and then we learn just one upper body and one lower body each time. Okay, so usually if you do this for a while, 2 sets is usually not quite enough. We need a little bit more repetitions. Okay, so if you feel like it, you can do kind of one more round of both these shoulder raise and I guess the hip raise and the hip walk. Okay, if you feel like you have enough, just take a rest. Okay, or just do it a little bit lighter with just your body weight, it's fine as well. Okay, but we're gonna go back to the shoulder raise one more time. Okay, if you want to, you can change angle up a little bit. So instead of pulling straight to the side, you can pull it slightly more forward or even straight forward. Okay, the more forward you go, the more you're gonna feel in your back muscles. Okay, because as you pull forward, this band is pulling you more this way. Okay, so you can change it up if you want to. Okay, or you can just stick to just to the side again. Okay, so 3, 4. Okay, 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just doing a different side angle each time. You can try it all if you want to. So it's somewhere around 8, I think. 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4. 10, 2, 3, 4. So to kind of really build up a muscle, you want to count how many repetitions kind of we do in an entire week. Okay, so it's not just how much weight we're lifting, it's also how much time, I guess you can call it, how much time you're putting under work as well. Okay, so if you're a beginner, you still need about kind of 100 repetitions in a week for a body part in order to really build up, really to see a significant change. Okay, so right now we did kind of 10 times for 3 sets. Okay, so kind of 30 repetitions in total. If you really want bigger shoulders, you're gonna have to do it kind of at least for 2 other days. So kind of 90 repetitions in order to kind of really start to see a difference. If you're more advanced, you need to do even more than that. Okay, so let's go back to the hips. Okay, so either the holding on single leg version, or you can just do the walking version. If you feel really comfortable, do the front and back. Okay, but always manage the safety first. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, please don't push yourself. Okay, we can just work around issues. Okay, you can of course make it a little tighter if you want to. Okay, so squatting down slightly. Okay, so hip slightly back, knee slightly bent. Okay, and either just walk side to side. Okay, or the harder version is keep your feet apart. Okay, while you are moving forward and back. Okay, of course, forward and back is a little bit harder to manage. Okay, once again, be about 30 seconds. So let's do another 15, 10. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And relax as much as we can in between. Okay, so that's the 2 new exercises for today. If you really, really want to, you can kind of combine these two if you're short on time. So, for example, instead of crossing it, you can just do a walk, 1 raise. Okay, so if you're really short on time, you can kind of do both together. Okay, so let's stretch out the muscles we kind of use a little bit more. Okay, so let's start off with the shoulders, just a basic shoulder stretch. Okay, so my right arm reaching towards the left, reach underneath, okay, or grab your elbow or your wrist, okay, pull your arm into your chest. Okay, and try to slow down your breathing now. Okay, make your breathing a little bit lighter. So imagine you don't want people around you to hear your breathing. And switch whenever you're ready. Okay, so next level is almost make it so that you cannot hear your own breathing. Okay, and coming back out. Okay, stretching the hips. So this is the one, we've done this one before. So you're just going to hold onto a chair on one side. Okay, you're going to push the hips away from the chair, kind of diagonally backwards, okay, until you feel kind of a stretch on the side hips. Some people feel it kind of all the way down to the knees, side of the knees as well. Hence, your legs can be crossed. It can help you push a little, reach a little further. Okay, but you can just stay here if you want to as well. Okay, but play around with the angle a little bit, see where you can feel the most stretch. It's probably kind of a little bit backwards, a little bit off to the side. Okay, and switch whenever you're ready. Okay, if you get a little lightheaded, if you change position, pause a little bit first, your feet moving a little bit. When you feel ready, then to the other side. So I'm just kind of playing around with different angles, see where kind of I feel the most tightness. Okay, and just try to take a deeper breath in as well. Okay, so deeper means more towards our pelvis. Okay, so if your belly expanding as you breathe in, okay, kind of your belly shrinking back in as you breathe out. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean a bigger breath. It just means using more of we want the air to go more towards the bottom of the lungs instead of kind of trapped up here at the top. Okay, and coming back out. Okay, last one, just always the wrist. Okay, so we're going to just do palm to palm. Okay, so you lock in your palm, put the other one on top. Okay, and you're just going to straighten out the elbows. Keep pulling your fingers kind of towards the ground or towards yourself. Okay, until you feel a stretch at the side of the forearm. You can try to relax your shoulders a little bit. If you want, you can also lightly try to straighten out your fingertips as well. Keep it kind of be gentle with that. Okay, shift things off, and then when you're ready, kind of same thing on the other side. Okay, last one, just the top of the shoulders. Okay, so one arm behind your pelvis. Okay, try to pull your shoulders down. Okay, kind of lean sideways in the opposite direction. So my left arm is behind me. I'm leaning my head towards my right. Okay, if you want, ready, add a little bit of pressure of your other hand. Okay, and this time try to take a bigger breath in. Okay, so take a big breath in, your chest is probably going to move a little bit more, and that's going to kind of stretch out this part a little bit more as well. Okay, change the angle a little bit so you're looking more towards the ground. Okay, coming back out. Pause as long as you need to. Okay, until you feel okay to do the other side. Okay, just whenever you're ready. Okay, once again, try to create more space between your shoulders in your ear. And whenever you want, just change the angle a little bit. And going back up. Okay, and just finish off of the shoulder rolls again. Okay, allow your spine to bend a little bit as well. Okay, you don't have to pull yourself down, just let yourself kind of relax into it, let your spine bend a little bit. Okay, and lastly, maybe just finish off with just the half neck turn. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today. So thank you for coming. Take care, everyone. No problem. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.